greatest gathering of business minds in the country. Now, I could say the planet, but I don't want to be presumptuous. But that's what this is to me. That's what I believe we have here tonight. I can't think of any place I'd rather be right now than right here. This is where I feel the most comfortable. This is where I feel you'll feel the most comfortable as we spend the next 40 hours together. I want to thank you in advance, first of all, for making this meeting a priority. I want to also thank you in advance for helping making our goals of H2O 2000 a success. I'm going to assume that we agree that in business, the goal is to actually create customers. One of the main purposes of business is to grow business. If that's not your goal, I'll be surprised. Another goal I think we agree on is that we need to retain existing business. I've also felt that survival of a business depends on how much business you retain. So I believe at the end of this meeting, you're going to agree with me that the NJPA way is the best way to understand government and education customers. I think you're also going to agree that the NJPA way and the NJPA contracts will be the easiest way to sell to government and education customers.
Love the contract. I love the fact that they're, as they say, great-esque, they're speaking the same language. So it's just a matter of taking that contract and getting in front of the right people. But you couldn't ask for a better format, and there's not a better group of people out there.
This is my first experience with our conference, and I'm so pleased with the turnout, the number of vendors that we've had come here. We're honored that they chose to come and spend some time with us. And I'm just so pleased with the response that we've got from the standpoint of people being able to interact with one another, learn from one another, and it seems like it's been a lot of energy. It's really positive things I think have come out of it.
There's an individual with us that was a very key part of us being here right now. And I think I'd like to ask Henry Ashcroft if you wouldn't mind making your way towards this way, Henry. Henry Ashcroft is retiring. The integrity or the ethics that we needed to be an organization. Henry's from Staples Business Advantage. And I can tell you a couple stories of how we got started, and I will later, about how pivotal this individual's been with our growth of our organization. What it took to take a company like Staples and even sell it internally, that NJPA is the path that we need to go on, and it's a viable path, and it's one that lines up with their level of business.
It's been a really great time to exchange ideas and best practices. I think that government procurement works best when suppliers and folks in procurement can work together collaboratively and talk about ways to find solutions to problems. And that's what NJPA does so well, is helps bring solutions to the challenges that governments face. And this was a great way for us to do that and really collaborate.
It's a great opportunity for me to meet with other individuals that have contracts with NJPA to learn the best ways to market the contract, to understand how they've marketed, what successes they've learned in the process. So as a new contract holder, it's a great opportunity for us to be at this conference.
It's been fantastic. Coming out of this, I see that we've certainly have seen the tip of the iceberg. We're below the tip of the iceberg, but there's an awful lot more. And I really and truly believe that if we can take the power of this thing, right, and really make it part of our culture at Mitel, we can do an awful lot more with this. And so that means every dealer, every seller at every dealer, every sales rep that we have, they understand the power of this. They understand what it can do. They understand what it means and how they should take it to every discussion that they have with a new prospect and put it at the front end of that discussion as the important part.
Understand and learn from each other. That's what's going to happen. That's how we're going to grow and not make the same mistakes, or how we're going to be able to benefit from the path that others have taken, the challenges that others have conquered. Sharing successful experiences and unsuccessful experiences. Just sharing experiences with customers is going to help those who are just getting started be more successful. Sharing of customer contacts. Some of those are just absolutely priceless. By getting connected with each other, you're going to find it, you're going to short circuit your path into some of those government customers. So just sharing of the customer contacts is valuable. And if you are interested in learning, I will tell you right now, there are people in this room that will be more than willing to share information and stories of their success. You will hear this more than once, and you've heard it before, and you'll hear it again. All contract holders with NJPA benefit from the success of others. I can tell you right now, when Sharp closed the $3.3 million copy machine deal with the Baltimore City Schools, okay, the same thing with the City of San Diego. When Staples closed that deal with the City of San Diego, that meant they vetted us. That meant that we met their requirements. That opens the door for you. County of San Diego. Winston McCall says, I've looked at 8 or 9 of your contracts. And the thing that I was really happy with is Winston said, you know, I don't really have a problem with how you do your contracts. You know what it means to have a county the size of the County of San Diego accept our bidding and contracting process? That opens the door for you. So you're going to hear that more than once and understand that we all benefit from the success of others.
I enjoy the platform, enjoy having the opportunity to interact with the vendors, trying to overcome some of the issues that we deal with on a day-to-day basis. You know, whether we're talking about fleet, whether we're talking about, you know, K-12, things of that nature. I think it's very, very important that you have this type of environment to be able to interact with your peers. It's just been absolutely fantastic.
Now you're going to have some questions as this process goes through. You're going to have some questions about the things you heard and the information that you've learned here tonight. You're going to probably ask yourself, how do I implement this? How do I implement the strategy of NJPA into the culture of my company? How do I do that? How do I inspire my sales teams to embrace the contract vehicle that we've been awarded? I can't tell you exactly how to do that because of the different complexities. But I can tell you that over the next 40 hours, there are people in this room that will be able to tell you. There are people that will be able to help you get to where you want to as far as your success with government education. Let there be no doubt, let me say this with bold assurance, you guys in this room have the right contracting agency. Let there also be no doubt that we have the right contracted vendors. We have the right companies. And our members have chose the right contracting agency. And they have selected the right companies and the right contracts. Now you can look around this room, and this is an amazing gathering, but this room is full of world-class companies. World-class companies. And there certainly are larger companies in the country, and there certainly are more successful companies in this country by a variety of standards. But I will tell you, this room is made up of the right companies. The right fit for NJPA, the right fit for us, the right fit for our members. And that's what we have here tonight.
You know, I just would encourage anybody, especially if you're new to NJPA, to sign up to come to the H2O, because the people that you meet and the conversations that you have, the networking that you're able to do, and just the fun that you'll have is a once-in-a-lifetime experience.
Our business model is set up that we must be effective. We must be effective. If we're not effective, we don't do it that way. We find ways to be effective, and we preach it every day in our office. How do we become effective? If we're not, it doesn't work. Okay? So being effective is first and foremost a priority for us. I'm going to tell you that we're different than any other organization that you will ever know. If you haven't figured that out by now, start watching closely. You'll find out there's no one like us. We're just different. We're unique in our ways. Our staff is unique. That's just how we're wired, and that makes up who we are. You will find that we leave nothing to chance. Nothing. So as an organization, we've set our bar where we don't leave anything to chance. We're going to make sure over and over and over again that we've got our point across. You'll also find that we believe that first has its advantages. First has its advantages, and luck has very little to do with it. We're not intimidated by difficult or never been done before categories. That's just how we've been. We've loved to bend first all the time, and we don't like to do it because somebody else is doing it. So we're not intimidated, well, we can't do that because it's too difficult, or it's never been done, or we don't think it'll work. That's just not our way. We respect our competition. We honestly do. I'll talk a little later about it when we talk about our competition, but I'll say it again right now. We don't look as good as we are without our competition. When we compare against our competition, we win every single time. No exceptions. No exceptions. We firmly believe that when we train, we succeed. And when we don't, we fail. No exceptions. No exceptions. And I'm going to stress it forever, because that's the key to our success, is to train, help so that people understand who we are, and they're an extension of our message. It just has to be. So I'm going to need your commitment as we get to the training part of this. You'll hear me continue to pitch this. We don't leave our organization or our contract message for our members or our vendors. We don't leave it to chance. We don't hope you guys understand what we want to say or who we are, and we don't hope our members just kind of casually get our value and who we are. We just don't do it. Everything is fragile. I don't care what it is. If it's a member relationship, a vendor relationship, a customer situation, it's fragile, and it always will be. So everything we view is as fragile, and we handle it that way.
NJPA is a quality organization. As a government agency, we feel they're a really nice fit. I think our objectives align very well, and the contract has been very successful for us and adopted pretty widely by our customers, so we're pretty excited about it.
I just got done golfing with 3 people I'd never met before, and it was 4 or 5 hours of talking procurement, different ideas, different solutions for procurement, and it all revolved around, you know, hitting a golf ball. It was a lot of fun. So I think NJPA has a model that no one else has, and it's pretty unique.
If you think I'm a fan of GSS, you're right, because they are a major reason why we're all successful. They're the high-level people at the state government level that people respect.
I was glad to see the growth in attendance this year. I've been at 3 out of 4, and it was a good session. I picked up a few things and probably made more contacts this year that I expect to follow up on than I have the previous.
Well, NJPA has been a great partner for us. They really help us get our concept to smaller facility owners and larger facility owners. But until NJPA, we couldn't get to smaller facility owners. And that's really important, because we bring this great benefit to everybody that buys construction. But the volume that you needed for our system was too great for the smaller facility owners. But this brings them all together and allows them to all purchase off a single system. So now we can reach most or all of that market.
I think the synergy between, you know, in this event, in terms of being able to get a hold of some of these partners, become aware of some of these vendors and contracts, has been incredibly valuable. You know, and you know, the sharing that's gone on has really been a very valuable part of the contract, the whole H2O experience for us.
Last year, I stressed start right and stay started. It still makes sense today. Start right and stay started. I also stress to you that in order to be successful, it may not be what you start doing, but it may be what you stop doing. Now think about that. In order to be successful, it's not what you start doing. It might be what you have to stop doing. Now those are the words of Jim Collins, author of the book Good to Great. And it still applies to this day. Now this year I'd like to impress upon you with a new challenge. And the new challenge this year is be successful sooner. Achieve success sooner. Implement strategies and embrace strategies that will allow you to be successful sooner. Isn't that the name of the game? Get there first. You get there first. You don't want to take a long time to be successful, so let's be successful sooner. Let's develop strategies that allow us to do that. Now, like that 1980 Olympic team, who could have played 10 games, and they would have lost 9 with the Russians. I will tell you this, on paper, NJPA, in theory, in concept, in principle, fails 10 times out of 10. But not tonight. Not this time. This is our time. We were meant to be where we are today. Each of you are meant to be in this room right now. You were born to be where you are. This is our time. You have earned it. We have earned it. Great moments are born from great opportunities.